And now coming to Dr. K. Sumathy. Ma'am, as we were discussing in the last two sessions, you told that not everybody gets the FSSAI approval, and hence this hub and spoke model that you talked about. Could you please elaborate what is this hub and spoke model?
Okay. I'm glad you picked it up because this is something we also need to discuss. What we have understood during our interaction with the community is that typically many of these NGO projects, we try to look for somebody who can really scale things and show a big impact. Sometimes it has an adverse effect that certain people will be monopolizing this, and it can also happen because of certain other reasons like caste. We cannot avoid this in rural India, so some of the powerful women may want to dominate, and there you will find that we are not able to reach everybody. This happens because we take a very individual enterprise kind of an approach. So to encourage every woman who wants to do something based on her own aspiration. For somebody, the income goal may be 10,000 rupees per month. For somebody else, it could be 3,000 rupees per month, which is fine. We should not be judging that. Is our
Mhm.
one of our first this thing. But provide the opportunities for that person. You just connect them with the right person and take it ahead. So we had experimented with a couple of things to encourage every such small micro, or even you can use the term nano, even smaller than micro entrepreneur to do something. But what happens is, because of the sheer scale of the operations, for something to be successful, you need a particular scale to spend on marketing, to spend on,
Mhm.
say, transportation, or like I said, to even get an FSSAI. So we have two, three options here to aggregate the produce and
Okay.
then look at these things by ensuring the volume. So this is
Okay.
where tried with the hub and spoke model, where you say that there are spokes who are slightly smaller scale operators, but they're all following the same protocol. And then this hub is the controlling center. Actually, if you think about it, it's nothing very new. Lijat Papad had done it. Certain other people had also done it. Just that we are trying to take it to various other interventions also. And what we realized was, initially we said, okay, WTP can be the hub. At least for certain things, we still are keeping WTP and our Manini self-help group as
Mhm.
the hub. So what you will see is that it will remove a lot of constraints. So for example, if you talk to some of the women who are contributing, they are not official members of Manini, but Manini is an inclusive setup. So they supply to Manini and Manini markets it for them. This happened
Mhm.
during COVID, where there was a lot of demand for masks. So
Okay.
suddenly the state SRLM and also the Bangalore LCTA, the Electronic City Association, wanted some thousands of masks. So since we had a network, we procured from the women, they gave to Manini
Mhm.
and they supplied. So this
Mhm.
hub works very well in those situations. And recently we are also experimenting with individual entrepreneurs acting as aggregators and as a sort of a hub to overcome this limitation on things like FSSAI. So this
Okay.
person has a setup, has the scale, but we work with them, motivating them to work with small scale producers, not to monopolize, not to say that, I will only produce everything. You work with small producers, you pick up from them in your own village, and you pay them the fare. In fact, we have given them, even for this ragi products, we give them the rate card saying that you
Mhm.
should pay so much to get it from them. And then you do the testing, you do, and you are free to reject. You set up high protocol, QA checking and all of that, but
Okay.
on fair principles. Just say that this today it was different size, or it did not taste properly. You set up objective protocol and then you take it through. So in this process, everybody wins. The
Mhm.
smallest woman also gets her money. The scale is achieved, therefore the operation becomes economical. So instead of selling, say, some 10 kg of malt, suddenly you are selling 500 kg of malt, because you have procured the mod from so many women. So this is the hub and spoke model that we are trying to work out. In fact, recently we have made an application to this Furti also, proposing this millet cluster model, having the same idea that there will be minimum 300 artisans who will come together and the scale of operation will be there. Because big problem we also face is that in marketing, if you go with small volumes, people suddenly will say, how much can you give? And they are talking about tons, you're talking about kg, and then it will fall off. But then for SHGs to come to that scale is also challenging. That is why we are exploring this hub and spoke model.
Ma'am, talking from the point of view of women who are venturing into these different enterprises, what are the constraints in scaling up their products?
Yeah. So one of the thing we are seeing is a little bit about the financial and the marketing models at Swati, and I think Mr. Jaswant spoke from Barefoot. The whole ecosystem on financing and marketing has to, I think, evolve. I will give you one example where we are struggling today, which will tell you, what we are looking at. The SHG, as you know, or I hope I'm not wrong here, it is an association of persons. So the proof for an SHG today is something like a bank account or an FSSAI that you hold. Otherwise, it is not like a society or a trust that we can go and register. So given that concept, today we are not able to get a GPay for an SHG.
Okay.
So there is an e-commerce. We could not get the SHG go through the KYC with a famous, with a very popular e-commerce site where we have integrated type. Therefore, we looked at GPay. GPay also did not happen with the current bank account where the SHG was registered. So we are now talking to another bank. It is now almost third or fourth month. We still haven't got it. So what happens is that a woman, for example, if she suddenly is scaling and she wants to sell directly, and let's say she finds a good client in Bangalore, so she's receiving WhatsApp order, she's ready to send. Will you receive the payment? The GPay would have made it very easy. So these kind of challenges are there as an SHG entity. Certain financial instruments, certain protocols are still not mature today in this area. We have, of course, but people are very receptive. We spoke to NABARD also. NABARD has taken this very seriously, and they said that we are a bank, we should be able to help you out in this. But we are understanding some of these challenges. That is one thing. And from the individual women's point of view, we have understood that for most women, they need a flexible, preferably home-based option. They can come for training, they can come to procure or give or something like that, but they will want something closer home. And since WTPs are usually remote, we have understood that WTP cannot be the production center for everybody. That is why we went on to the home-based production model. And therefore, protocols are very important, and ensuring that they follow, especially for food products. And that comes over a period of time, and they have to understand that and abide by that. And some of the families are also thinking of the risk, tomorrow something happens, what do we do? So that is a journey that we have to take them through. And other than this, what I will say is financial knowledge. Like, for example, filing your income tax if the woman is by herself, ensuring that, say, GST, whatever is there, how she can make use of that. That knowledge also has to come. While SNT people, we have tried to integrate them. I think there is still a little bit more we can do. We are constantly talking to other people. In this regard, I have to thank DST because we have a wonderful set of core partners where we exchange a lot of information. So what people try in one place, we share with others, and we replicate that model. And a lot of ideas have got exchanged there. And there is a forum, there is a website, DST Tara website, where you can see, and we keep exchanging this. So it's a constant learning and a good interaction. So I would say that we fail, and then we go look for solution, then we adopt it, then we become successful, then we go and share with others. So it's a constantly evolving journey. That's what we are seeing.
Ma'am, during your long and illustrious career in the field, you must have worked closely with several women at the grassroots level. Can you cite some or few examples where women are really empowered in the way?
Yes. So I have one example where there was this woman, her name is Katyayani, and she was an uneducated woman in the sense she studied till 6th grade or so. And our first introduction to Tide and Katyayani happened sometime in the 2005 to 2010, in that time, I think 2008 to 2010 time period, when we were doing a Sarla stove builder construction program. As you may be knowing, Tide has been disseminating a very popular cook stove program called Sarla Stove, which is also a livelihood program for rural women. So Kartiyani's village, we did the program, and she hesitatingly came forward. At that time, she was struggling because her husband was a farm laborer, and she had 2 children, and she would go and do work as and when possible, and she wanted to give good life to her children. So she started becoming, she got trained as a stove builder, and slowly she started making money. So why I'm quoting her example is that she went through multiple challenges and she overcame them. The very first thing was the acceptance from the family, because this was a question you asked before. With the Manini women today, it was not a big challenge because Tide has been working in that area for now more than a decade. People have know it's a safe place to send, they are sending. But when Kartiyani started for stove, you have to go to remote villages and go to some stranger's house and construct the stove. So, her husband suddenly said, no, you can't go. Then Tide people went and spoke to her husband, and then for some time he was accompanying her. Actually, very sweetly, he was accompanying her, leaving the children with their in-laws. But then slowly he started getting the confidence, and then she started going. And Katyani grew, constructed many stoves, and slowly she found, she was surprised. She told us to find that people were looking up to her. Here was a woman who was just 6th grade, but then she found that people were asking her, how are you coming alone? You're staying overnight also in a place which is not your home. How are you managing? So those kind of conversations started, and she became very, very motivated and very inspired. So she became the master trainer. So she has traveled today to a lot of states in India. She has gone to Gulbarga University and given a guest lecture. She has gone to Chhattisgarh, and she had trained some women without knowing one word of Hindi. I think they gelled well. There was a translator, but she managed that. And and of course, financially, she did a lot of things. Some money came her way, and with this experience, she became part of various other projects. Started a low carbon project, selling solar products in her village. A lot of things she started, and she was paid as a master trainer also through various projects. She was certified with Karnataka's Hasiru program, which was doing the tree plantation in forest fringe areas. So she got very good payment through that, through the government scheme itself. So her children actually graduated. In fact, in one of the seminars, her daughter spoke about how her mother's stove journey empowered her also. Not only her mother, but her also to become a graduate, and she's now living in Bangalore. But the feather on the cap came for Katyayani first with her nomination to the temple committee in the village. While she was doing all of this, she was not from the higher caste, and they were not really being recognized. So first time she got nominated for the temple committee, which is a big thing in rural India. That happened sometime in 2016. And 2018, she also became a Gram Panchayat ward member. So I think while it started with initially with the economic empowerment, then slowly it became a social empowerment. First through recognition of her among her peers, but then later through recognition of her in the circles like the Gram Panchayat, and even in the now today, if you go to that village, SRLM will call her for function, NABARD will call her as a resource person. So somebody who is a 6th grade person and who started like this, getting invited as a chief guest and being asked to interact with officials, is a journey that she's gone through. So we usually request her to share her journey with other women, because it is possible. And I think today also we had the opportunity to meet some of the other women. I'm sure they're all on that journey, and it's very inspiring for us. We are all educated. It's a different thing, but for them the challenges are many more, and they have overcome all of that. So that is what motivates all of us.
We are really thankful to you, ma'am, for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you so much for the
We hope that there are many other women who needs to be empowered. Tens of thousands of women need to get empowered, and they will get empowered through science and technology.